to hospitality and allowing us to come to the community to set up this meeting so that we can reach as many citizens as we possibly can, so that we can give you information on USDA programs and services, as well as what Arkansas Land and Community Development Corporations do as well to support our communities and our residents in the communities, as well as individuals throughout our 42 county area. So we work in Arkansas as well as Tennessee and Mississippi. And this organization has been around for over 40 years. And our president and CEO, Dr. Calvin King, who really started this organization, or was part of starting this organization, was unable to attend today. So I'm going to try to cover some of the things that he can cover, but you must understand, when a person has been at this for 40 years, and I've been at it for just a couple of years, I don't have nearly the information that he has. But I'm going to do my best. So we try to connect USDA programs and services to the individuals that need them, particularly farmers, row crop farmers, small farmers, vegetable growers, micro farmers, very small farmers, that's farming the size of a room, plot of land the size of this room, can become a farmer now. Whereas in the past, you need to have a certain amount of acres to be a farmer. That is no longer true. Because of the micro farming initiatives, small farming initiatives, urban farming initiatives, you can farm in a space the size of your backyard now. And we encourage that because, as you know, Arkansas is considered a food desert, which means that a lot of fresh food is not available to a lot of its citizens. So we encourage any and everyone to grow produce, grow fresh vegetables, and sell them, share them with the community, your family, whomever you deem fit. I mean, you can start a farm and sell your produce if you choose to. We also are involved with heirs property. Arkansas Land and Community Development Corporation has an heirs property center where we try to help individuals work through heirs property concerns. And as you may know, there's a lot of issues in our community with heirs property. Most of the property that we own, we jointly own with family members, siblings, nephews, nieces, sometimes cousins, and the like. And with heirs property, in the past, we've been blocked from accessing USDA programs. But because of the 2018 Farm Bill, it was able to reduce the restrictions on accessing USDA farm programs. In other words, if you didn't have a clear title for your land, your property, if it wasn't in your name, you couldn't access USDA programs. Well, now you can, if you could work out some arrangement, some management type of arrangement with the owners of the property. Let's say that 25 owners. We know in some cases there are a lot more. Sometimes there are 100 owners or more. If those folks can come together, produce documents, and agree on letting one or two members of the family farm that property or manage that property, sign off on it, you can bring those documents to farm. You can go to the National Resources Conservation Service and see what programs are available. What you want to do with that property, as well as talking to the Farm Service Agency, FSA. I tend to not use the acronym as much as some folks I like to call it out, but FSA, Farm Service Agency, they also have Conservation Reserve Program. So the I'm involved with Conservation Reserve Program, so I should know that. But you can perhaps access a program through the Conservation Reserve Program once you have the funds. The farm number is really critical. And we have folks here from National Resource Conservation Service, NRCS, that's going to discuss that program in detail. So I don't need to go into that. The only agency that's not present is rural development. Now, yes, Mr. Seth, it is here, but I have been informed that there are some restrictions on them. So because of that, we can't ask Seth to come up, although I would love to, but we can't. But in case those of you who are not familiar with rural development has been said that it can build an entire community. And what that involves is facilities, infrastructure, hospitals, clinics, schools, water departments, sewer departments, utilities. Rural development can do all of that. But more importantly, to the mayor of Slaughter, those things would be very critical, because as being the mayor of Parkin, she may be interested in some of the programs that rural development has to improve conditions in the city of Parkin. And the Rural Development Agency is the agency that oversees that. In addition to, more people are probably more familiar with the housing side of it. There are grants and loans that pertain to housing that's provided by USDA. If you meet certain requirements, age, income limits, you are able to get a grant from USDA for health and safety measures in your home, providing you own the home. And again, heirs property, people who own heirs property, homes, usually do not qualify, because the person living in the house has to be the owner of the house in order to qualify and meet the income restriction. But for everyone else, if you meet the age requirement, the income requirement, and you have the need, you can actually qualify a grant that you did not have to pay back. I believe it's $10,000.
I think it's done 15.
15. The grant.
It has done.
Okay, it's either 10, it was 10, it may be 15 now, but that's out of the law that you can qualify for in addition to that. So there's a $40,000 loan that you can also qualify, which is very low interest rate, to improve your house. You know, you can put windows, doors, floors, roofs, things of that nature. So you can end up with about $50,000. Now these numbers don't hold me to these numbers because it could be a little different. I have some information here on single family housing direct loans that we can pass out to anyone who would like them, because like I said, the experts on housing is not available or can't present to you, unfortunately. Let's see. So we also are involved with agriculture technology. We have a drone program where we can kind of incorporate technology into vegetable producers' farms. You can use drones to kind of get a good bird's eye view of your property, and you can try to detect any problems that's going on earlier than you normally would. Let's say if you're walking in a field, you can see so much, but if you have a drone above that whole field, you can pick up different patterns of colors real easily.
We have a direct payment farm ownership loan, which is less than 45%, where if you are going to purchase a piece of purchase some farmland, and you want a commercial lender to assist in the actual financing of it. We also have our direct operating loan, which is $400,000. That can be used to purchase livestock, poultry, equipment, feed, seed, farm chemicals, and supplies. You can also use that to refinance other farm operating debts. We have our direct micro loan, which is $50,000. That can be also used for operating costs and purchasing costs. On this fact sheet, I think everybody should have one. We also have our guarantee program, where our guarantee program is operating It's used through our commercial lending banks. Well, the actual bank actually loans you the money, and we guarantee you 95% guarantee. We have our land grant, our contract loans. Like I said, all these loans, there's a lot of stipulations, a lot of requirements. On our guarantee program, you can get up to $2,251,000 annually for operating costs. But what I want to focus on, I gave you a handout, which is the micro loan. There's two types of micro loans for the maximum amount of $50,000. As Ms. Williams had mentioned, the people that want to do the vegetable gardens, the produce, things like that, that would be a great idea for the micro loan. Once you talk with Melinda or Miss Amanda Fisher, you get a farm number and you decide you want to build a hoop house or you want to raise a garden for profit, for sale. What we'll look at, we'll pay for the hoop house, we'll give you operating expenses for the seed, fertilizer, equipment, and stuff like that. That's the 1 year long operating expenses. Where if you're going to purchase a hoop house or a housing home or something like that, that's a 7-year term. You have 7 years, up to 7 years to pay for that. I know I'm giving y'all a lot of information. I'm going to slow down a little bit. So if you think of some questions you want to ask, I'll be around to answer those questions. Okay. That if you decide you want to do that hoop house and raise vegetables, will require you to have some type of contract or something where you're going to sell that vegetable. Because like we have people come to us, they get in the NRCS program, and they'll get approved to build a hoop house. And the first question we ask, okay, where are you going to sell this produce or these vegetables, product? And a lot of them be like, I don't know. With FSA on the loan side, we're in the process of loaning money, but we also have to pay it back. We don't do grants, we do loans. So like I said, also with that micro loan, you can do farm ownership micro loans up to $50,000, 7 years to pay for it. Where if you got a smaller piece of ground, just say maybe 3 or 4 acres, that you see you want to buy and raise produce on, we'll finance it. Like I said, there's different lending requirements for the micro loan. That's what we call a start out loan, where if you not have no experience and you want to get some experience in the agriculture business and the urban ag business, that'll be a perfect loan for everybody. Or as the micro loan, you have to have some type of education that require you to qualify for it. Some examples are post-secondary education, which is at least 16 semester hours in agriculture business, horticulture, animal science, agronomy, other agriculture-related fields. Or you can have significant business management, that at least 1 year of management experience in a non-ag-related field, where the applicant does day-to-day responsibilities include direct management experience such as personnel, decision, payroll, inventory, ordering, hiring, or not, an individual who is a manager entitled on. I mean, if you're managing a non-farm ag business, you're actually making day-to-day decisions, payroll, ordering, things like that. That could qualify you for 1 year of management with the ag program. Like I said, there's a lot of information on these flyers. I'll be around. I know I probably talk a little too fast and didn't understand it, but once you read it, you have questions, I'll be around. I don't mind answering. I'm located in the Cross County office in Wynn, and I'm the new farm loan manager there. I've been there since January. So like I said, if y'all have any questions, y'all more than welcome to give me a call. I'm there Mondays through Friday from 7 to 4:30. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Now, Linda, you want to tell the location where you are to be contacted, the number, the address, location?
We're in Fort City, Arkansas, and you can call 870-633-3055. It's extension 2. And if you just start asking questions, we'll do our best to help. So just let us know. 870-633-3055. And I'm like Cedric, I talk fast. So,
And what extension?
Extension 2.
Extension 2.
Yes, ma'am.
870-633-3055, extension number 2. Is FSA. And 870-633-3055, number 4 is rural development for housing.
And I'm at 870-238-3285 extension 2. That's Farm Service Agency. That's the loan, farm loans.
What's the number?
Say your number.
Let's say what?
870-238-3285 extension 2. And that's the farm loans program.
Read your numbers for this week. For the housing, 870-633-3055, number 4 for rural development with housing. For the farm loan side, 870-238-3285, number 2. Which one on the farm loan or housing? Housing, 870-633-3055, number 4 for housing.
Also, Ms. Williams, I like to, also, I didn't tell you that, when you're applying for a farm loan through FSA, we do provide technical assistance and have to complete that application. If you don't understand, we will sit down with you one-on-one and assist you in completing that application.
You understand, Mr.? It said that if you're applying for a loan on the farm loan side, then they will help, just call him at that number and they will assist you with the application. And that was the 870-238-3285, number 2. Cross County. Okay? Is there any other questions before we move on to the Natural Resource Conservation Services? Next, we're gonna, now we just want to remind you that on the housing side, we do have Mr. Harrison, and he's back in the back, and he will be able to answer some questions after the meeting. Okay? All right. So next we're going to move on to Natural Resources Conservation Services, and Wade Hamilton isn't here, but we do have Mr. Kennard Williams from the state office. So let's give him a hand while he comes, and he's going to further information.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm gonna stand so maybe y'all can hear me a little bit better. Sitting. I always start this way when I do a presentation. How many people in the room, by a show of hand, have you heard of the Natural Resource Conservation Service, which is you hear the acronym NRCS under USDA? I got one. And the reason I ask that question is because I'll know which part and where to start at. Just give you a little background from the agency. The agency was started back in the 30s, 33, Dust Bowl, that era. And the reason why that was because we needed to protect our soils, because it was from the Dust Bowl, the wind blew from the west and took the soil all the way to the east coast. So that's just a basic history of the reason that we were established. We used to take care and trying to protect our soils. In 1994, we did a restructuring. And we started looking at all our natural resources. We started looking at our water, our plants, our the different animals. And we look at the whole thing instead of just focusing just on soil, which is basically our root. And I'll go back, and my name is Kennard Williams. I'm the State Outreach Coordinator for Arkansas. I go ahead and give you my phone number off the top so y'all have it. It's going to be 870-270-8923. That's actually my cell number, but also the best way to catch me is my email, and that's going to be KENNARD.Williams with the SWILLIAMS @USDA.gov. But I will, if I don't, hear back in a day or two, I will reply back and get back to you if you don't catch me. I'm on the move quite a bit. Do y'all want me to repeat that number or email? Email Kennard, KENNARD.Williams, WILLIAMS at usda.gov. gov.gov. All right, today, Ms. Melinda, she talked about getting started with USDA. As she say, we're sister agency, brother sister agency, and how that works. You have to get established in the system. And FSA is where you start. Farm Service Agency is where you start. You get established in the system. You need a farm number, track number, and once you receive that farm and track number, as she stated earlier with the eligibility, you got to show control of the land. So she still have to do all that to get to our program. Now, one thing we offer something called CTA, that's Conservation Technical Assistance, and that's for any and everybody. You don't have to have a farm track number for that, but we can come out and start looking at and start developing your plan. But if you want to take advantage of benefits from USDA, you will have to have the farm number and track number that Ms. Huff talked about earlier. It's not hard, and as she say, I've worked with her for years, and she'll help you get that farm number and track number. But we have to have it for the NRCS program as part of the eligibility. If you look at, we have a couple of, we have 2 or 3 programs, but I'm going to talk about 2 of them mainly, where a lot of the technical assistance and finances actually come to help you put conservation on the ground. You should have a sheet in your hand called Environmental Quality Incentive Program. We call it EQIP, but the name of it is, we break everything down to acronyms in our agency most of the time. So, but the name of the program is Environmental Quality Incentive Program. And I'm going to talk about, you have so many umbrellas on the EQIP. One is put conservation practice on the ground, but all at the same time, we have another one under the same program. It's called the Urban Small Farm Practices and Initiative. It's also goes on the EQIP. And what it does is allow producers to actually implement conservation practices. I tell you one that we do a lot of, and it may provide a lot of assistance under like high tone, seasonal high tone. They look similar to the violence or greenhouse. The difference between high tonal and a greenhouse, the high tonal, what we will assist on providing cost share on, you actually have to plant it in the soil. Your greenhouses, you have concrete, put in trays, those type of things. But for practices that we would pay on, it has to be the high tone, which is actually putting the crop in the soil. But you'll see the high tone. We also have other conservation practices that use the goal and complement that practice. And everything is to address a concern. The purpose of the high tone, extending the life, growing the life of your crop. Most times you can get in the field early, or you can get your crop in early, and they'll go longer. And sometimes you can plant multiple crops under that conservation, under that practice. Another practice that usually go with that is micro irrigation system. Micro irrigation system, what it does is it allows you to water your crops more efficiently. A lot of times you can hook them up to your water hole, and it just drips, and it goes directly to the plant. Why would we water the middle and it's just don't grow grass? You want to put it right directly onto your crop. So that's a practice that we actually provide cost share on. Now a little bit different from Cedric, what Cedric talked about early on the loan practices and the cost share practices that we pay on is considered as a grant. So you do not pay, do not pay that back. That's actually a grant to help you implement those conservation practices on your farm, on your site. So we do have technicians, engineers, conservationists in every office in every county. Now, if we don't have an office in the county, we have somebody covering the county. This county is Cross County, our office is in Wynn, located in Wynn, Arkansas. And we do have somebody there that can assist you. Always remember, the reason I gave you my phone number and my name, I am at the state office out of Little Rock, but I cover the whole state. And if y'all feel like you're not getting service or y'all need something, they hadn't got back with you, let us know. But we can come out, and help as well from the state level. As things, people, they shuffling around right now, we don't mind coming out of the state office, come out and help. So always remember that, these different programs. She also passed out another program called CSP, that's Conservation. It looks like this, Conservation Stewardship Program. And what this program it's like an enhancement program. But most times you're gonna start at the equip level, and that's to get all your conservation practices on the ground. The CSP or Conservation Stewardship Program is gonna take you to another level. Give you an example. Do anybody know? Anybody in the room? Y'all grow gardens, right? Or some of you grow gardens. Do y'all get your soil tested? Okay, so our very first step, which it doesn't cost you anything. It take you a little time. It don't cost anything to do a soil test, and that's just going out, sampling your soil, taking it to the extension office. Then they'll tell you what nutrients that you need to put down for that plant. And you can put down whatever, if you're growing peppers or cucumbers or tomatoes or lettuce, it'll tell you, you put up to 5 crops on that paper. And it'll tell you what that crop needs based on your soil there on that site. So, I know some folks would just go out and buy a bag of fertilizer from Walmart, 19 or 13, and then just scatter it out there. That's what we do. I know, I've been there. So, but what you do is once you do a soil test, it tells you exactly what you need. So that's one of the basic things, and we do cost share on that practice as well, but that's something that you need, even though it don't cost you anything. The extension service provide that to you for free. You go by, you can pick up a box, they'll actually tag it and track it for you for that site. So you just go and get a little sample and put it in a little square box, and it'll tell you what nutrients you need. But let me give you an example of what the difference is between equal. Equal will help you on that nutrient management part of it. Just get your soil test and implement that. The CSP actually takes it to another level. You may go in and you plant a pepper plant. Well, instead of looking at the soil test, you take a leaf off that pepper plant and take the extension office and you do the analysis on the leaf to tell you what nutrients in that plant and what it needs. So that's where CSP, it takes you to another level. But at the same time, we actually, if you get in the program, we actually provide that assistance for you to do that. And the minimum payment on CSP actually went up this year to $4,000 per year for 5 years. It's a 5-year contract. So it can go up to $20,000 for that 5 years. Well, it'll be $20,000 if you approve under that contract. And yeah, it may not cost you anything, or it may cost you a lot less than what the $4,000. But what that $4,000 does is help you to implement. Say if you need spray tips, something to spray your garden with, to put the fertilizer, to buy the fertilizer, and things like that. You have that resource there to actually help you implement that. But to start with equal, so you can get all the stuff addressed that you need, then you go to CSP. So it's like a stage on top of that. But let me tell you one thing that's very important by your soil test, for your soil test. You can throw all your P and K, NP and K, which is the 19 NP and K. But if your soil does not have the right, if you need lime, if your soil does not have the right nutrient, I don't care how much fertilizer you throw, put down on the surface, the plant will not take it up. So the plant will not use it if you don't have everything where it needs to be. So, and how do you know that? Do a soil test. So it's very important to do a soil test. And if you don't need a lot of NP and K, why spend the extra money if you don't need it? You know, if you have soil that's optimal, and it'll tell you if it's optimal or not, why spend the money if you don't need to? Just spend what you need to on that program, produce that for you. But I'm not going to get real deep into that part of it, but I'm just letting you know that's just an example when you start looking at equipment. A lot of those practices, we actually help cost share and help you do them. And we'll also give you guidance. We just won't let you out there hang and throw you out there under the bus, throw you in deep water and not help you go life jacket at the end. So, but we are here to help. We're our agency. We're not a regulatory agency. It's all volunteer. And same thing with FSA office. You don't have to. It's not mandatory or anything. It's all volunteer. All our programs is volunteer. You come in, sign up, and we'll be more than happy to work with you. I don't mind coming from my state office and work with you as well if the local office needs assistance. No problem at all. Are there any questions for me? Right. Hey, thank y'all. Appreciate your time.
at the end of our program. Like we said, you're gonna, our last on the council list was Seth Harrison, but he's not allowed to come up and say anything, but he is gonna be available after the meeting. And we just want to thank you all for coming in and join us today. And we're just hoping that you have some increased knowledge of what you can do or will do or want to do with the land that you do have. And if you don't have it, if you found out what you can do to get a farm number, whether you rented it or own it or it's an air property, that these people here on the panelists today are here to help you and assist you in the office and those numbers that we have given or they have submitted to you. So again, we want to thank you, and there are refreshments in the back there, and you're welcome. Again, thank you and have a safe trip back.
If you guys have a survey and intake, you have to back your plate.
Yeah, don't forget to link survey, intake. Thank you.